Guy, welcome to Media Unscripted.
Nice to meet you.
And I have to say, there's something almost scandalously reassuring about seeing you on stage in Lisbon, in the middle of this industry noise, simply say TV is TV. After years of OTT, CTV, industry graphs, and all that, everyone pretending the viewer cares about our acronyms, it almost sounded rebellious to suggest that television is still somehow television. But what are you really pushing back against, or what are you pushing for?
One logic. And the logic is that when you are in front of a big screen, in the living room, it doesn't matter what's the source, it's the same audience, it's the same people in front of the TV. And at the same time, we know who is in front of the TV, no matter what the source is. So in the living room at 8 o'clock, it's the same people, right? If they watch through the cable or even through USB, we also have USB source. You can watch, a video from USB. It doesn't matter. At the end, it's the same people. And if you look at our Apple, they have eSIM. That's it. You can use the same, kind of everywhere, right? In the past, you had to do roaming. You have to do a lot of things. My point is simple. There's one screen in the living room, which there was some misunderstanding because there were buzzwords like fast channels, like OTT, but when it becomes mainstream, that's it. It's only one product, and it's TV. And I'll continue to say it because we have the data and we can see the reality. And I think you will see interesting things happening in the next few weeks, few big announcements. I can say with broadcasters that's starting to understand that they are still strong and they are still the strongest player in every single market. And our goal is just to help them, to continue to have the right space. But you cannot say that the 5-inch screen is the same like 75-inch screen.
Yes, and I remember in Lisbon you made this analogy with a mobile phone, but also what struck me, because I'm a believer in the magic of TV, as I like to call this, and I'm an old timer, and the TV started showing my age. But how important audiences are in all this, and I believe that you speak my language, because ultimately nobody sits down at night thinking, right, now I'll consume a little AVOD and now a little bit of fast, and then finish with the premium CTV. They just want something worth watching. So it looks like, I guess that the industry overcomplicated television. Have we spent too many years supporting mobile logic?
But I think I'll give you another analogy, okay? Today, there's much more catch-up than live. You come home, you're starting to watch some of the things, you have it there. But is this different TV? Right? It's the same. Is this different audience? No, it's just a different form of watching the same content. But think about Binge before Netflix came, right?
I can't remember we had any Binge before Netflix came.
But I'm saying in the past, you saw, Dynasty. Then you had to wait 1 week for the next episode of Dynasty. And then next week, you're going to see again Dynasty, right? Or Dallas. So I don't know. I'll give names that everybody knows. Now it looks ridiculous, right? Because when there's a new season coming, the whole season is coming, and you can watch it in 1 day. Does it change the amount of people that are watching that series? No. It's just instead of watching it over 3 months, they watch it, some of them over one night, some of them, but if 1 million people watched it every week for 3 months and 1 million people watched it in one night, does it really matter?
Well, you know what we lost? The whole week of conversation of what's happened next.
Yeah, but I think today you have so much data coming to you during the day. in the past, the way you used to consume media, in the morning you had the newspaper. That was your only media source. Then you went in the car and you listened to the radio. That was another media source. Then you were at work. You never heard anything because you were working. And then everybody came home and watched the news because you want to see what happened the whole day, right? So in reality, there was source of data in each medium that was by itself. It was the newspaper coming to your home in the morning, or you used to buy it in a small store on your way in the train, in the bus, in the subway, it doesn't matter. Now you have 1,500 sources of data. You have push notifications. When you come home, you know 99% of the news. So you already consume during the whole day the news that you used to consume in half an hour, and everybody used to come and see there. So my point is simple. One, there's much more content available. You didn't have Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and so many new forms of content. But if you look at the average time you consumed content 30 years ago, actually your time went up massively, right? It's just coming from different sources. So I think industries change because of technology, but the essence of the industry doesn't change. So there's some content you want to watch in front of a big screen. That doesn't change. And even still you go to the cinema. Yes. Why? Because the cinema has its own beauty.
And we switch the mobile there.
But maybe in the past you used to go once a month or once a week. Maybe now you'll go once in 3 months. Okay? There are different forms, but at the end, two logics will never change. One, content creators, once they created the content, they want the widest distribution as possible. That's one thing that will never change. Second thing that will not change, people like to watch content on a screen.
A big screen or any screen.
Depends. Some content is suitable for a small screen. Maybe your WhatsApp is good for you, for your small screen. But then to watch the highlights of the NBA, if I gave it to you in a simple way when you wake up in the morning, today you watch it on the mobile. But if I gave you Game 4 in NBA last night, as soon as you wake up, the highlights, coming from the same source, from the NBA, I don't change the source. I'll prefer to watch it there, but if below I can also see the headlines of the news while I'm watching that, the ability to consume different content on one screen, on big screen, that's what we are doing.
But maybe the industry forgotten that TV, the big screen, is not really the same as a mobile screen, and a lot of what has been designed and the consumption, the way how it's treated, I sometimes feel that is just treated as like yet another big giant mobile screen.
But that's because we are in the hybrid era of TV. Same as we were in the hybrid era in other forms of technology. If you think about solar energy, let's say you have a solar panel on your roof, okay? You are selling it to the electricity company, but in reality, it's not true. You are actually selling it to your neighbor. The aggregator is the solar company and the electricity company. So same here. We are aggregators of content, okay? We are not competing with any partner, but we are making the right UI and UX that when you wake up in the morning, you will get the best content.
But historically, the TV operating model, which was felt almost invisible to the audiences, or in general, it was sort of minimalistic, a menu, a utility, the sort of elegant route to an app or two. But now it feels like that the OS is no longer just organizing or aggregating content and apps. It's just like organizing television itself almost, so like discovery, prominence, advertising. It's kind of very different kind of power, I almost feel, that tvOS is now built. And did you always see the tvOS evolving into this kind of strategic role, or has the market moved faster than ever you expected?
Your postman used to deliver to you the post, and now you get it through the internet in an email, right? Now, post office used to be one of the strongest and most desirable work anywhere in the world. If you think about US Post, it's a brand that is huge. You don't look now at your Gmail or at your Outlook as the postman, but in reality, it does the same thing that the postman did. But here, Danny sent me the link. We are talking, I'm in Israel, Dennis in Slovenia, I don't know in which country you are.
Yes, so.
And we are talking, right, live on a big screen, we can see each other. You don't feel, in the past, either I had to fly to meet you, you had to fly and meet me, and I don't know when you're going to post this podcast, but it can be in 1 hour, and the whole world can see your podcast if it's interesting, which means you have unlimited reach now. All of a sudden, if you did a good podcast, maybe 5 million people will watch it. It didn't happen in the past, right? Because you were limited to one-on-one. So when you think about TV, you only think TV, but I think that's the wrong way. You need to think about a big display that we are now transforming it into a multi-layer of media and entertainment in your living room, in your bedroom, and in your kids' room. There's only 3 forms of big screens at home. Living room, that's completely different audience. Bedroom, that's completely different audience. And kids' room, that's completely different audience. When you think about it, the cluster of the living room is completely different from the bedroom.
Different experience, different expectation.
Completely. And actually you don't expect even to watch, but in the past you open your living room, it's channel 10, you open your bedroom, it's channel 10, but all of a sudden you can open the living room with one experience, the bedroom with a different experience, and the kids' room, completely different experience. So it takes time to adjust to new technology.
But do you think that the TV OS almost evolve into something closer to a household operating system, not just TV operating system?
I think that's the right word. We are not a personalized company to one person. No. We are a household company. That's why I mentioned living room, bedroom, kids' room. That's why CPM is not TV.
Love it.
Because for sure, when I'm on my phone, I don't sit with 2 people and say, look at my phone. If I want you to see what I have on my phone, I send it on WhatsApp. I send it on Instagram. Even if I'm next to you, I will share with you. I will not show you like this because you don't like to watch like this. That's a very personal device. We don't need to know anything about you personally. Why? Because we are not addressing you personally. Yes, we can create a personalized experience for you, same as you have user on Netflix or Amazon or Disney. That's okay, but you are under the roof of a family. And then we need to help you get a better experience, obviously. It is so simple that nobody says it. TV is TV. It didn't change because a TV is TV. And if we use the same logic of TV, still I'm telling you the broadcasters has the best content in every country. It's localized, it's very established content, they have the right logic. They are our best partners. Even if sometimes they think something else, the broadcasters are our best partners. We want to help them through technology go to the next level of big screen at home. And if you think about broadcasters with broadcaster room and other things and other logics, right, in the past, broadcast in the new era should go one to many.
One thing I find fascinating when we're talking about localization and globalization is that the TV infrastructure seems to be still very global, big corporate names involved, right? But television culture is still super deeply local. So maybe that's where your collaboration with local broadcasters is so increasingly even important for the overall experience. Am I right, or am I reading too much into this sort of deeply local experience on the global infrastructure?
80% of the content we consume is local, or 85%. That's a fact. And the reason not only me traveling, the whole company is traveling, is because we are not competing with partners, we are teaming up with partners. And what we do, we come to partners and we share with them how we can grow together, which means how they can leverage on our platform, on our user base, on our distribution, on our technology, on all the things that we can team up. And part of our model at the end is to give the consumers the best product. So if a consumers open the TV in the morning on a Monday and he sees all the relevant content on Monday morning in the TV, we did a good job. If he comes home and he sees the right content, and it doesn't matter which content it is because we are agnostic, right? We are not the ones that are, because we work with everyone as a platform. So we are not the one, actually our partners should promote their content on us. Because that's the logic of a platform, right? If you are doing now, if you think about channel, whatever in your country, if they are doing MasterChef, they will do a promo for 2 weeks in order to bring all the audience there. But now imagine, we are not talking about a channel, we are talking about an ecosystem of content. So if you look at company like Spotify or iTunes, you never look for a label, you look for a song. But even MasterChef, I don't know in which channel it is in Portugal, but maybe it is in Portugal MasterChef because it's something that was sold across the world. The Voice, Survivor, I'll give you many, many formats that they have them on all the countries, but I'm now coming to Spain. I want to see, just for example, Barca against Real Madrid. Is it on channel 5, channel 4, channel 10? I don't know. I get into the hotel and I try to find which channel. In the future, it's Vivi, I want to see Barca against Real. That's it. It's up. Same as today, I say, I want to listen to the Cranberries, I don't know, Linger by the Cranberries. That's it. I can hear it. But then I have like this. I have Cranberries Radio, which is a lot of, I have greatest hits of Cranberries, right? And I have the song itself, just one. So all of a sudden it's aggregation and not navigation.
But do you think putting them in front of the perfectly designed TV, a big screen experience that is turning into the TV household system is the answer? I'm not arguing.
I don't think this is our job, okay? I think our job is simple. One, we want to help you at home. Okay, we really want to make your life better at home. So when you open the TV, you can have a better experience. When you open, that's our job, okay? We are not claiming to change generations. That's not our job, okay? There's other things that people do. This is not us. But our job is actually that you don't need to look anymore for great content, okay? And in the future, if your kids open the TV, he should have the right UI for kids. And when you open it, that you should have the right UI for you. And when the family is there, you should have the right content in front of you. If we did that, we are already successful.
True, but you've got a big task on your hand. You picked the difficult one. The easy sounding TV is TV, but it's a huge task you picked up. But I know that you've got a hard stop, and I would love to ask you about measurement because I'm fascinated about V-index. I don't know if this is the big announcement in a few weeks that is coming. Maybe you want to meet in a few weeks' time and tell me more about it. But what are you trying to decide?
V-index it's not new, by the way. It's the way measurements should evolve. Now we have 3 million consumers in one country and 2 million consumers in another country, and we have 5 million consumers in that country. And obviously we have a lot of data. But even having data is not important unless you understand what value this data could bring. So the data, if you look at it, is a huge power. That's why everybody runs after data, Google, Facebook, everyone. But can you help with this data make a better experience for your users? In my view, that's the most important thing of V-index. Consumers, not where was data going to advertisers, to in the future, advertising will be integrated into all the content. I guarantee you there will not be a commercial break within 5 years.
I suspect so. Maybe not commercial, not 5 years, but because there will be still some people screaming and kicking. But I really hope that is the way.
I'm still saying, but it's a very old school, because now if you are integrated and you know is in front of you, 99% of the ads are not relevant for you, right?
They're just disrupting my experience on TV.
So, but exactly. So we are a consumer first platform, which means first we'll make your life better. That's our mission, okay? And we are on the way to 100 million units, okay? We're now more than 50, we'll be at 100 million, then 200 million. We truly believe that if our product will be great for consumers, they are the ones that decide who will be the leading platform. But then we can serve all others. But if it's coming from the consumer point of view, if you really like fashion, then maybe we should present to you ads related to fashion, but that bring you value. But then it's going to be integrated also with some promotions that are good for you, right? And you get the value. Plus, if you are now the one that doing sports and really, so if I'm going to offer you to order food, it's going to be probably things that you would love to eat because it's in the same cluster of who you are.
Yeah, it adds value to my life. Exactly.
So I think that's where we are heading, but in household experience, right?
TV is TV. Is TV now becoming a shopping cart? Because I noticed another announcement that you guys made. So please tell me more about Shoppable TV, because it's particularly.
I will tell you something about Shoppable TV. It's going to take years. Years. Okay.
I really hope that now you're going to solve it.
When you say Shoppable TV, the first step of Shoppable TV is probably to have one subscription for everything. That's where it starts, because there's no difference between content and shopping.
I hope this is the way how advertising is going to be phased out. And we are not shopping from ads, but we're shopping from content.
So I would say that advertising on big screen now will be awareness and performance. In the past, it was only awareness without performance, okay? Now it's going to be both, okay? So that's, my next call is pinging me. I want to thank you for your time. It was great to see you. And I enjoyed it a lot. And I'll see you in the near future.
Thank you so much.